Welcome, everybody, to Heroes Asylum, issue 45. 45. I can't believe it. We're still kicking and going. It's been a
45 and still alive.
It's been a fun week. Interesting news dropping. Some interesting shows dropping this week. Just made like craziness. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in, checking us out. We are now officially on YouTube and on Facebook live streaming. So Kane and I, you can see our pretty faces and hear our lovely voices.
Yes.
You guys can jump into the chat. It is open. Anybody wants to make comments, say hey, what's up? We can see you. We can talk to you as we are doing this. And again, this is going to be a continuation of the podcast. You will be able to still get this one throughout the week, like normal. So, how you been doing?
Same old. How you doing, sir? Good to see you.
I'm here.
Another. Yeah.
Oh, so did you get a chance to listen to our podcast this week for the Midnight Movie?
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to listen?
One of the class. Yeah. It was very interesting. That's all I'm going to say. It was good. It was good. I loved a lot. It's just like when you have that third dynamic in there, it just makes a whole lot of difference, especially with a third, especially with a sweaty like Steve. So,
yeah.
Talking about Star Wars, it just, I don't know, just kind of makes your creative juices flowing. So,
yeah, it's fun to especially to re-listen to it like months later, because we were in the moment, so to speak, and we just had it was fun to just actually sit down and listen to it. So we're gonna get going with what we call our little news department, or our news section. But first, actually, I forgot about that. We had 2 passings this week in the geek community. It's been a very quiet month, 2 months or so. But yeah, we just recently had 2 passings that really kind of, one that shocked me. Last time I seen him, I think it was in the House of Thousand Corpses, but it was actor Michael J. Pollard. I think that was probably the one he was best known for.
He was in, wasn't he in Day of the Dead as well? I think.
Oh, I don't know. I know he was Tales of the Crypt, like Dick Tracy.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm. Who did he play in Dick Tracy? Was he just a thug?
I think he was a No, I think he was. Yeah, actually, I believe he was one of the thugs. I was going to say he was a taxi driver.
No. Wait. Maybe he was the guy that was. I think he was sort of like a spy. He was like a cop, but he was like wiring. Man, this movie's like over 20 years old. But Al Pacino's character. Oh man, I'm just going off memory. I believe he played like he was a cop, and he was basically staking out in Al Pacino's character's like club, and he was like above the room where they would make all the hey, you go beat up this guy and rob this amount of money or whatever it was. And I think he was the guy that was like keeping wiretaps on them, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I could be dead wrong.
Let me know. Yeah, it's been a long time. But the one that always sticks out for mine was he was in the original Star Trek series. He played Dan. He was a leader of this band of like feral teenagers. And you're an old person. You don't tell me what to do, because I think if I remember correctly, this episode, it's been a while for this one too. But I think this is the one where like the adults were dying off after like you reach a certain age. But also he did play one of Superman's big foes as well, Mr. Mxyzptlk, in the animated series.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So yeah, that voice, not just the face, but the voice as well.
If you look at his face, he's very Mr. I mean, basically he looks like Mr. Mxyzptlk, especially that photo we have up there right now. I mean, just sad to see that he goes. Another one of our community gone. Yeah. And, it's always tough.
Yeah, it is tough. Yeah, especially somebody that was like around for a lot. I mean, when you actually sit down and look at his catalog of movies and TV shows that he did, he's been around forever. I just like scratched the surface. Anything pretty much in the 60s, 70s, he was a regular on the TV shows. So yeah, he will be missed. Also this week, We have a one close to, I guess, kind of close to our Marvel fans' hearts. We have Tom Lyle for Spider Man. He also was one of the first ones. He was an artist. Worked with Tim Dixon on Robin, the first run of Robin. When Robin actually got his own miniseries by itself, he was the artist on that. But he was primarily known for, and I'm sure you're gonna spit when I say it, but he was a big part of the clone series, the sagas for Spider-Man.
Well,
So his artwork
yeah,
is his artwork was good. He wasn't a writer, so but what he I thought what he did for the
no.
artwork was pretty decent.
Well, the costume itself doesn't look bad. I mean, if you look at that costume, that iteration of the I guess I hate even mentioning its name, the Ben Riley Spider-Man, that costume has kind of like taken a life of its own. If you think about it, it's like been in many iterations, video games, comic books. I believe it was used on the Scarlet Spider as well.
Yeah,
Spider-Man: Homecoming. Peter Parker had a form of that suit on,
yeah,
like
he did.
it's
Yeah,
almost like his homemade suit. So, the artwork was great. It's just everything else about it I didn't like too much.
but yeah, he passed away this week. So another member of the of our geek community has gone. So he will be missed.
You will be missed, sir. Rest in peace.
So what we're gonna go ahead and but since gonna jump into what we call the admissions ward. So here we go.
News from the Admissions Ward.
I
All
love
right.
that song, by the way. Just gets me pumped up for the admissions ward.
So what do you have first up, sir, for your admissions ward? I'm gonna let you go ahead and take this one over.
Well, guess what? The Matt Reeves Batman continued its casting, and this week they made actually a surprising cast. I mean, the great John Turturro, who you know as Jesus Carmine from The Big Lebowski. That's why I know him from, and
Jesus.
from those horrible Jesus. That's right, and from those horrible Transformers. Actually, he's done a lot of stuff too. He's been cast to play my boss, Carmine Falcone. This is, I believe, counting TV shows. Well, actually, if you count the TV shows, the animated, and the movies, this will be the fourth iteration of Carmine Falcone.
Well,
And yeah, fourth. If you count the animated series, you count Gotham, and if you count the movies, he was in Batman Begins, played by somebody I forgot. He's another thespian type of actor.
wouldn't no, he hasn't made it in. There was some news that dropped on another Bat show about Falcone. So never mind. Keep going. I think he's
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
in.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, but yeah,
So yeah, I
he's
guess
been
this will be
cast.
the fourth.
He's been cast as the fourth Carmine Falcone in the Bat universe, and this cast continues to grow each and every day, daily. Another good pick. Looks like Matt is going for more of the character type actors, and John can definitely bring that edge to it. If you see, I mean, don't look at the goofy roles that he's been in. If you look at the more serious ones, he's actually one of the better actors out there. In The Big Lebowski, he was good. He did like another movie, I believe, too, where he was an assassin.
Yeah, Tutor's
It was
done
an
some
old,
really good stuff. Don't I mean? Yeah, he's
so,
probably he's more well known for the goofy ones, but when you really look in his his catalog of what he's done in the past, he's definitely got a lot more.
he's got a lot more stuff going on. I know, but just an interesting note. I want to see what kind of version we're gonna get of Falcone because the animated series I thought did pretty well when you have it built up to Falcone. I thought Gotham did a great job actually with the actors they had on here. They made because he was more in Batman Begins. He was more of a goofy type character, I would say, and in Gotham they kind of redeemed him a little bit, made him more menacing. So I'm wondering what kind of angle John's gonna go with. Hopefully, I hope they go with the long Halloween version of Falcone.
Well, from
Where he was
everything I've read,
actually
that's what they were been talking about. That's kind of
okay.
what the source material of that.
Because to me, that's my favorite one. I mean, if you think about it, this is a big mob boss stuff. He's almost like a John Gotti, if you think about it. And he's in control of these families. He controls all those families in Gotham. And if you have ever read, I'm sure you have read him. Some of our fans out there have read Batman Year One. Carmine Falcone is the first villain that he takes down, first syndicate that he takes down en route to building the Bat Legend. So it'll be interesting to see him on screen again. And, this is being like almost the eighth villain cast in this movie. I'm almost afraid now with all these villains being cast of it being overcrowded. But
They've only announced two. Who else
well,
have
this
they
is going to be.
announced?
Well, they've announced Cobblepot. You
All
got the
right.
Riddler. You got Falcone. Now this is the third.
So
Catwoman, you
okay.
don't know. That could be either side.
Yeah. Well, they haven't. I don't. I mean, I think those are just rumor mills. I don't think we've actually heard from the Reeves camp about those yet. So I mean, but you're going to want your standard mob boss, just kind of like what they did in the original Batman Begins series. You know how it was just it was Falcone, but then you also had your Scarecrow. So I think that if they stick to kind of that tradition, I think it'll be okay.
I hope so, man. That's the most important thing is to actually get a story with him, and if you do that, you're going to be good. I mean, I'm just wondering how he's going to fit into this whole mix because if you think about it, the Riddler's very narcissistic, and you have Cobblepot who takes the place of that crime boss. Although with Colin Farrell being Cobblepot, I'm almost interested to see how they're going to play that now because Cobblepot's always known as that bigger type of guy with a lot of girth on him.
Yeah.
And now you have a smooth talking, good looking dude who's going to play Cobblepot. So
Well, you think what they did in Gotham too. I mean, that wasn't Cobblepot. He was skinny. The guy that they got to play, Cobblepot.
I thought, Robin Taylor Lord. Yeah, he was great.
Yeah,
I thought he was
perfect. And he wasn't your rotund little weasel.
No,
He was something different.
I think I told you like many times of Gotham. Like the first two seasons, I felt he carried that show.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
I thought he was the best part of that show. I thought everybody else was trash, but he was like the one that holding it together. Then eventually, as the seasons went on, there were like better characters that actually evolved and actually got better. Like after a while, I enjoyed one character which I couldn't stand at the beginning, but I felt like her overall arc. She actually became a well-rounded character, and I was like, oh, okay, you're right. So, but yeah, Carmine Falcone is going to be in the Batman.
Yep.
Which will be out in 2021 in July. Mike, what do you got for us?
Yeah, for this one, for me, I actually have a bit of kind of sticking in the Reeves category. Well, not really Reeves, so it's more Batman category. There was talk, this week they had the announcement of the Joker movie. It's breaking and doing a possible sequel. And I thought we could take the time to spitball, shoot the possibilities of what they could do because they were talking about giving just drew a blank on his name, the director, Todd Phillips, giving Todd Phillips a chance to to do the sequel, but also to do maybe open up the book on the DC villains and give them more of a grittier take, a more realistic take, like they did for Joker. So what would you like to see? One or two of the villains that are in the Batman's, amazing rogue gallery.
Two-Face. Two-Face is the guy. I felt like out of all the characters that has been portrayed on screen, as far as like the Bat movies goes, I think that he's gotten the short of the change. In Batman Forever, he was horrible. That's not even worth talking about. In The Dark Knight, like. The Harvey Dent part of the character was great, but when he became Two-Face, it almost like the movie should have ended. Like spoilers, the movie's almost 10 years old, but the movie should have ended when the Joker is just when Batman catches the Joker like floating outside, the building. When you had that extra 30 minutes, when you had that extra minute with Harvey Dent, it just kind of felt like I get what was going on, but I just felt that Harvey Dent deserves his own movie. Like Two-Face as a character himself, he is the living amalgamation of just duality. Like literally, like he literally has his personas and his face split right in half, and they haven't gotten to that point where I want to see the struggle within, like that mental struggle. Like should I do it this way? Should I do it that way? Should I appease to my dark evil side and kill this guy, or should I? No, I'm going to take him to jail. That's and he's a district attorney, which makes it even more interesting. So I just felt if you could do like a gritty take with Two-Face. And you actually explore, how did he become, how did his personality get split so bad? You could show almost like Joker did, what they showed that he was abused as a child. You could do a little bit of that maybe with Harvey. Show where he grew up. Like, why did he develop the big bad Harv mentality? If you ever watched the animated series, that's what they called it. You could do too. If you want to do Harvey Dent, what's the name of the psychiatrist? Bruce's psychiatrist. I'm drawing a blank. It's Bruce's psychiatrist. She was in the animated series. Leslie Tompkins. You could throw Leslie Tompkins in this movie as well. And maybe you could have her maybe a little bit older than Harvey, and maybe he's going to the shrink, and maybe she's trying to dive in deep and see where that that persona's coming from. And then eventually maybe he snaps and then goes from there. I mean, there's a lot of things you could do. I just felt out of all the rogue galleries you could do, I think Two-Face is the guy you definitely could do.
Well, I always thought Leslie was a doctor, not a psychiatrist.
No, so he was a psychiatrist.
Was she? Okay. Then who's the doctor? The older lady that's always healing him up.
Also, Leslie Tompkins.
Okay, so in other iterations, she is also a doctor. Okay, so I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
there.
she's a doctor, but they have never like in the animated series, she was a psychiatrist, but she was also a doctor, I guess.
But that was the animated series, and pretty much
Yes.
everything else, she's been a doctor.
Yeah, she's been a doctor. Like
Okay.
even in Gotham, she was a doctor.
Right,
She wasn't
right.
a. I think she was a psych. No, I think she
No,
was a
no,
straight
she
up doctor.
no, yeah, she was the
Okay.
yeah, she worked in the morgue there, so yeah, she was a doctor. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You keep I think you keep going back to your mind keeps running back to the animated series. I'm thinking more outside of it, not just what the animated series did, but what other ones are out there. That's why I was wondering. Okay, now for me, I've always think, and I think they've missed out on it, and they've never done a version of him. Is Clayface? I think with Clayface, it's a
Yeah.
the idea, just the visual effects of it would be amazing. It can be done now, but there's the human side of Clayface that most people forget, and really in some iterations of actually currently in the current run of Batman, Clayface is actually like turned around and has actually now not just a villain, but he's one of the good guys. He works with
He worked
with
Batman
them, and
now,
you've
yeah.
had and you've had that with with Penguin. Sometimes Penguin's like, yeah, working against you, not going to work for me. I'll help you out a little bit. So there's been those moments of that, and I think Clayface is just a stronger character. And again, we'll go back to the animated series. The animated series is really what brought that out when you actually see a couple of those episodes with him when they introduce him, just his story and the pain he's going through.
Yeah, he's a struggling actor and he wants to continue to maintain these looks. And then he gets I forgot where he got some sort of cream that he puts on his face that eventually it's a chemical that turns his body into what would become Clayface, and I agree, there's a lot. And I think he hasn't been touched. Like he was touched in the Arkham games. That's about it.
Yeah.
But he's never been given his full arc. And you could do like a straight up like Blumhouse is the key legendary for doing these low budget independent sort of horror films that they cost like almost $2 to make, but they make like a huge profit. You could do a Clayface movie just like that. You don't, like I said, you don't have the budgetary and the CGI effects you could use are just very minimal. You could even use practical if you wanted to be bold about it. I mean, he really doesn't it's more like the character driven thing that's him. Like when he turns into Clayface, that should be a moment like, oh my God, this guy went from this to this, and it's like a nightmarish quality almost. Oh.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, that could be that could be the horror version of Batman. With that.
Yeah, and you could throw the Man-Bat in there too. One of our favorites that has yet to be touched. But yeah, Clayface would be an interesting choice. I wouldn't mind either of them. I think they're both solid choices.
Yeah,
as long as it's not like an.
Go ahead. No, I was going to say as long as it's not one of the ones we've already seen. I'd love to see something fresh.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to see Riddler. I don't want to see Penguin. Like I've seen those guys. I definitely want to see Joker anymore. I think I'm kind of jokered out, to be honest with you. I mean, I love the movie. I think I'm serious. Like the Joker. I'm probably one of those people who believe like DC should put the Joker away for a while and just put him in a box. And because I think he's just so overused now. I think the one run they have in comics with the amalgamation of that Joker. I think that's a great character in himself. But I'm like the Joker himself. I just think he's just, I don't know. He's just, to me, almost getting to the point of being overplayed. And I kind of want to see him go away for a while and, put him in the box and then bring somebody else out like I haven't seen in a while, like Clayface. Harvey Dent. There's so many rogues you could use. I mean, just use them. You don't have to keep recycling over and over again. That's why I'm glad with this Matt Reeves film, I don't think we're going to see the Joker at all.
Yeah, well, I hope not.
I think you're going to hear like something like he's in Arkham, he's escaped, but I don't think you'll see him, and I think that's a good move.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's what I loved about the very first Batman with Nolan. It was just the card. He wasn't the original villain. It was a straight up borderline detective. Of more of race, and but yeah, you just saw that playing card at the very end. and everybody that was in the know in the audience went, "Oh, what's coming?" And that was perfect. In fact, I think they could have gotten away with not having him in the second one also, and just kept that
They
hint
could
and that love that thought going. Oh man, I'd love to see what's going to come up next.
Yeah, you could have almost unfortunately he passed away, but if he was still alive, you could have done a second movie without the Joker. You could have done somebody else, and at the ending of the second movie, you could see the bat signal being lit up in the sky, and almost a Batman Returns. You could have like the Joker just looking up at it, and then you hear the laughter, and then credits, and then you can go to the next movie. But that's just nitpicking. What coulda, shoulda. So
yeah, no, what we love to do. So what do you have next on your list?
Hence why we're here. Oh boy. Well, our favorite, Kathleen Kennedy,
Your favorite,
the president of Star Wars. Yeah, well, your favorite as well. Kathleen Kennedy, the president of Star Wars Films, at the moment, producer, highly successful producer, by the way, was interviewed by, I believe it was Variety magazine, and she was talking about the struggles and like getting filmmakers to do Star Wars movies, and a lot what she said made us a lot of sense. You have to understand, if you don't know who Kathleen Kennedy is, very successful producer. She's produced some of the biggest movies of all time. E.T. I think she was a exec producer on.
She pretty
Close
much
Encounters.
did everything in the 80s.
She's got dough and she knows what to do. As a producer goes, she's probably the best of all time. When it comes to creative decisions, that's where I think Mike and me are going to have a little bit of a fight on, because I think creatively, she said something in the Variety magazine, which I'll get to right now, is basically saying that Star Wars is a hard film to make, which we understand. Said that there are no comics, there are no novels, there is nothing to go on to make these movies, and that's what bugged me, because you're basically saying that the people who have, and it's not even the legend stuff. I'm talking about the stuff coming out like now in the last 5 years, 10 years. You have people making comics, you have people making video games, and you sat there as a producer when you were first brought on, word for word, and you can go to YouTube and look it up. She said verbatim, all the EU is all legend stuff. Everything being made from here on, video games, TV series, animation, movies, is all canon. Everything. And she hasn't done any, like, they barely mention anything in the movies. Slight references to some of the series. Like, the series do more, like, do things together. But she has not done that in the movies. And when she said that, I was like, wow, that's kind of like a slap in the face to all those creators out there who make content for Star Wars, saying that there's nothing out there to go on. That's what bugs me.
But I think you like a lot of people out there, and a lot of there's a bunch of like YouTubers out there that do it. They get this angry heart on for Kathleen Kennedy. They just love to hate her, and I think anything she says, most people take instantly negative, and I didn't take that with her. You heard her say one thing. I heard her say something completely different. I think what she meant was a lot of the, like you were saying, the expanded universe is off limits. And to create that world after those expanded universes are gone, the Legends is gone. Yes, they've made this world. She's been part of that. Even though people just put her name onto the Star Wars movies, she's there for Mandalorian. She was there for Rogue One. She was that helped create a lot of that stuff as well. People forget it. They just look at the bad and just spit fire at her that way. I don't think that she was going negative towards those writers and slapping them in the face. I just think she was saying, as growing forward, it's going to be difficult. That's how I took it, and I don't think it's all that bad.
But the way she said it, and the action she's done over the years.
You read it. You didn't hear her say it, did you?
I read the whole article.
I read the article too, and I heard her say it one way. You're putting your negativity, I think, towards her into what she says, and you and I will completely. I will give you a laundry list of things that connect the X.
I mean, you don't have
I'll
to
give you a laundry
use,
list
anything in the back to make the movies. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was saying I can give you a laundry list. We've done this a couple of weeks ago. A laundry list of what them connecting. You keep saying that they don't ever connect anything. They connect. They don't connect enough for you, but they still connect.
Yeah, but she's saying that there's nothing that she could use going forward for the movies. Nothing.
Well, to create,
Like,
there's nothing now to create this on because they're not long. They're no longer
I'm
doing.
talking about. Yeah, but they've cherry picked from some of the EU, which is kind of crazy. I just think that statement is kind of odd and just someone who just like producer wise, she knows what she's doing. I think what she's doing right now with the Mandalorian is great too, but she's not a creative head. She's basically saying, yeah, go ahead and do that. Filoni and Favreau, you guys do that. That's why the show is so good.
So
That's why I think
that's not the case for the movies. She doesn't look at JJ and go, "Oh, you go on and do your thing."
I don't think
I
so.
mean, it goes both ways. You think she's got more hands on in the movies than the TV
I believe
series?
because I think so. I think so because
Okay.
those movies are $1 billion movies. Of
And
course,
you know how
of
much
course
they spend
wanna
on
make
this.
money.
You know how much they spend on the Mandalorian. It's not pocket change that they spend on the Mandalorian.
No, it's not cheap. No, it's not cheap. Not the movies.
But that's why I say I think
know.
a lot of people just want to just grab and bash on her and just go one way and don't think about what good things she's done while she's been in charge. They jump at the negative. They go for the movies, and I understand the movies
made
are
the money.
there.
She's
And yeah, I mean, she has made
done
the
her job.
Yeah, I get it, but I just like I said, I think just people like want to just latch and just like grab on her and just tear her down when people forget about the good things she's done. And I think honestly, when she makes this comment, she's talking about going forward. From here on out, we don't want to talk about the Skywalkers any longer. There's nothing now. This is all new going forward, and I think that's to me was what she was getting at. That going forward, the stories are going to be harder because we don't have the Skywalker saga and those characters.
But she didn't. But she didn't say that. She said it from the past that we don't have anything. If she would have said like, okay, we can't rely on the Skywalker saga anymore, then I get it. But when you say there's nothing out there, it just it's like But I literally have a Star Wars comic right now.
I know. I've got tons of them too. There's content out there. I think she was talking about something else. That's all. And I just like I said, I just think there's just too much negativity towards her, and then just people just jump on her. I watched it all week on YouTube. Couldn't tell you how many people just jumping down her throat. And I'm like, dear God, it's just.
Where there's smoke, there's fire, and her contract is up in 2021. She's gonna hit a home run with the Rise of Skywalker, and I think after that, bring some new creative people inside and just go forward. Like. That's it. No, she's done her job. She's done her job.
She's done a great job.
She's done a great job. But
sorry, she's been involved in
disagree
everything.
With everything creative. I just disagree, especially like her handling of directors. That's a big thing too. Like how many directors have she fired and let go? Like in mid production, like during the whole Miller there. What happened? Oh, you know what? Nah. Like, didn't you do your homework before you hired these guys? Yeah, but she did it with Gareth Edwards too.
Yeah, but we don't.
And Rogue One.
Yeah, but we. Well, how many movies lose directors halfway through?
Yeah, a lot.
There's a lot of movies out there that we. Yeah, exactly. So again, I think you're going. Well, she's doing this. A lot of other producers have done this.
Colin Trevorrow too. That's another one that was supposed to do Rise of Skywalker. That's 3.
Maybe just their ideas weren't working. I mean, we get too much window, like looking through a window into Hollywood, and we want to say stuff about it when we don't really know what that person was planning.
A lot of things I agree with, but during the interview process, let's just say I'm Kathleen Kennedy, I'm going to interview you. Okay, Mike, come on in. Yeah, let's talk about a Star Wars movie. All right, give me your pitch for your Star Wars movie. That opening interview. All right, I haven't hired you yet. Okay. Mike has some good points here. He has some good points here. Mike, if I like your idea, I'm going to call you back. Okay, you leave. 2 days later, I give you a call. Hey, Mike, I have this synopsis that you gave me here when I interviewed you. This, and that. You know what? That's pretty good. But once you come back in the office, I just want to add a couple more things. Okay. I want you to put this in there. I want you to put that in there. I want you to put that there. Okay, no problem. Okay. You start filming in 3 months, and here's your budget. Here's a cash sheet, and go. Okay. That's what she did. Middle, like they did for Colin Trevorrow, like she did for Gareth Edwards as well. Only thing with Gareth Edwards is he decided, hey man, I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I'll go with the flow. Like what these guys you get into when you interview them. It's like when you're hired for a job, what you got to do, and you're interviewing for that job for. And being pulled out like midway through production, like Lord and Miller, where it's just like very baffling. Like, wait a minute, during that interview process, you didn't know about all this, what they wanted to do. It's very mind-boggling.
Well, it's business. I mean, I've hired people before, and I was like, halfway through it, you're like, hey, you're not working out. Bye. Sorry. It's just like it's the same way with this, and this costs more money. So I think I can understandably see that her jumping quickly because like you said, it's a lot of money for those movies.
Yeah.
Like and I've seen people get into a job, like, hey, this job's not for me. Bye. Okay, it's not. Leave. So like I said, I think she's doing her job and she's doing it right. Again, my personal thing is I think everybody just jumps down her throat because of the bad things that have happened, but they never look at the good things. Just like anything happens, people will talk about the bad situations, never what somebody did that was good, and that's just how people. I see people talking to Kathleen Kennedy or about Kathleen Kennedy. Alrighty, so what do we got next? Actually, I guess kind of like in the Hollywood, I guess the pipeline in a way. A lot of talk about. Did you hear a lot of the earfuls of with Elizabeth Banks and
Oh yeah,
Charlie's Angels? Oh my God, man! I was quite shocked to read some of that. I was quite shocked to see that she makes the comment that it's men's faults for not letting that movie succeed.
Yeah, I don't think it was guys' faults. I just think your movie sucked. It's just, I think that's the easy way to say it. You can say the chauvinist. Oh well, you just don't give our films a chance. There's been 100 Spider-Man movies. Yeah, agreed. I get that. But you know what? Maybe your movie sucked. You ever thought about that? Maybe nobody wanted to watch it.
I know, honestly, I got to tell you, I saw 2 trailers, and in what little I did see, I don't think there was a big enough like promotion for it. And what I did see didn't interest me. Yes, it was very PC for nowadays, that they were more alpha females, but to me, the Charlie's Angels were alpha females. But at the same time, there was this tongue-in-cheek sexiness behind them, and that's what made them that show. When she threw out that Spider-Man comment, yeah, there's been a whole bunch of different Spider-Man, but Spider-Man never, in all the movies, you never changed the core of what Spider-Man was. You changed his attitude, or maybe you changed what he looked like, or the age of his aunt, or you did something a little minor change to him, but you never changed the core of what Spider-Man is. And when you go to take what I consider a classic TV series, and you change the core of what those characters are and the core of what that show is about, you lose everything that it is. And also, it's from the 70s, and I understand nostalgia, but nobody cares about that anymore. So, and I got to really be honest, I knew Kristen Stewart was in it, and that was it. I knew nobody else. I never seen any of the other girls. You may call me old. I'm out of it, whatever. I don't know who the other girls were, so there was no reason for me to even want to go see. And that was a lot of what I had heard. And I think the other thing that she had said that really ticked me off was that she had made a comment that that men don't go to see strong female women characters. And I know a lot of people have talked through this out there. You look at a lot of people went to go see Captain Marvel. A lot of people went to go see Wonder Woman, Alita Battle Angel. All these movies within the last year or so.
Yeah, there's been female
and so and I've gone to see every single one of those opening night. So don't tell me that it's not that we don't want to go see women fight and do great. Was it Lucy? What's the one?
Anna was Anna, Atomic Blonde.
Yeah, great movies, and I went to go see all of them, but that one just and then who was it? The poster child for failed reboots. The director for the Ghostbusters all female cast. He came out and to defend her, making the same comment that it was because of us that.
It's just an easy cop. Yeah, it's oversaturated. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
I mean, wasn't it Elizabeth Banks in like the older Sam Raimi Spider-Man films too? Didn't she play Betty Brant?
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you are right. Yeah.
So why the hell is she complaining about comic book movies? That probably helped her launch her career. I mean, shut up, Betty. Relax.
Yeah. It's just funny to watch.
It's just easy to play nobody wants to watch it because it's strong women. No, nobody want to watch it because the movie sucked. That's why. It wasn't because the movie would. I'm sorry.
Yeah, nobody. Yeah, it's just like pulling the victim card, and I was like, we don't, we can't be pulling we can't pull the victim card as well as still saying that we have to have these strong characters and advertising these strong women. It's like, me personally, just put a strong woman in a movie. And we don't have to wave the flag. I think that's another thing that maybe is sometimes turns certain people off, and it may be some guys as well. But I think you start waving the strong women character flag. I just want to go in and see a good story. I want there to be strong people. So I don't understand the rest of it.
Yeah, it's a little strange, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. We're in that since mentality right now. So we're just gonna have to take it as it goes. That's what I do.
All right. Well, you got any news? Yeah. Any other news?
No, that's all I had for the emissions.
Right.
You're going to be the guy with the bulk of the news this week, sir.
Well, that was primarily it. I mean, I figured the Kathleen Kennedy section was gonna take up some time. So
yeah, it did. So
all right. Well, let's get out of the emissions board. All right. So I guess we can kind of do like a recap. Did you get a chance to see Titans this week? Are you still kind of not catching up yet?
What, Titans?
Yeah.
I'm caught up on Titans now.
Did you? Okay. What'd you think? Did you find it's finally like there? We're there. I know we're like one of the last episode before the series or the season ends, and we're finally going to see it.
I mean, the only thing about this season, I mean, I thought the beginning of the season was really good. I thought the middle of the season was really good. I just think like the last couple episodes, it's almost been like, we're like dragging. Because I thought Nightwing was going to be like in the middle of the season. That's what I thought he was going to pop up. Oh, here comes a suit. He's going to fight Deathstroke. Then at the end of the season, maybe they'll fight Cadmus or something. But now it's almost like they just jungled everything together. And now we're going to see Nightwing, of course, on the final episode. But like the suit looks good.
Yeah. But what about the rest? What about the rest of the story? You're too worried about the suit. I'm interested in the characters and stuff. Did you like Bruce from last week when he came in? I like Bruce. The dream sequence with him and because we didn't get a chance to talk about this last week because you didn't watch it.
I like both versions, the dream version of Bruce and the regular Bruce. I like when that's a typical Bruce Wayne Batman thing. He's like, hey, his little subtle ways of getting people to meet up. Tells them, hey, you know what? You got to be a family, be a team. That's Bruce.
Subtle ways.
And then, like
subtle ways. He made up a commercial. That's not subtle. He hijacked it.
Yeah, he's got the money. He's got the money to do it. He hijacked
the cable channels. I thought that was great. The donut
you
one.
Got to remember that. Oh, that was fantastic. I wonder if they mentioned like maybe he's using Brother Eye at this point, but I don't know. That's a deep.
Maybe okay. You never know.
Never know. But I like this version. I know people have issues with him. Oh, he's too old and everything. But I actually like it. I actually like the fight sequence he had with Dick in his mind. Like he's basically he's almost like saying, hey, man, you're fighting the wrong fight. And you could see like the training of Bruce Wayne. Like, hey, Robin can fight, but this is Batman.
Yeah.
And you could tell like Dick is like fighting him and but he's like just ducking out of kicks, moving him to like grabbing him by the throat, throw him to the side. And just he's like, hey, son, you're fighting the wrong fight. And then it flashes back in the cell, which is probably my favorite scene of that episode, where you see him like he's in his mind, he's fighting Bruce, but outside he's just basically training, and Bruce is basically training him in his mind, saying, "Hey, you're better. You're not
he's sitting there shadow boxing."
Yeah, which I kind of did. I was like, "Oh, okay, kind of Fight Club style," but.
Yeah, that's why I was hoping you watch it, because I thought last week's episode was. I mean, it was weird with the donut thing, but then it was that mental, that him and Bruce going back. That's why I thought the last two episodes before that were really slow, and then I thought last week's came back, picked back up, but gave it more of a mental thing, because then you're dealing with that, but you're dealing with Garth, you're dealing with the girls now, because they're all trying to figure out, okay, what do they need to do now? Corey's issue, whatever, Corey's got is impotent now, so I don't know what's going on with her.
Well, what happened to Corey?
Yeah.
The flame is literally out.
Yep.
For Corey.
But and then you got and then I love the introduction with did they introduce him the Shoemaker last season or something, or
no, this is the first one.
Okay, because the way when they brought him in, when they walked in, I was like, man, did I miss something?
I was like, because when he walked in there, I was like, where's he going?
Yeah.
and then you see him in there. I'm like, is that the Shoemaker?
Yeah, but
That's a deep.
yeah, that's why I was like, did I miss something that I didn't see? Because the way they were just talking, like they already knew it, like we should have already been introduced to this guy.
No, I guess he's been around. I like the way he's pissed off at Dick because he burned the suit. That was great.
Yeah,
Where he's just sitting there,
and
he burns the fruitcake.
the fact he knows he burnt the suit. How does he know he burnt the suit? He must have a tracking or something in there that tells you even more about what that kind of character is.
He's like, I'm sorry, and I like the fact, yeah. It was good.
And
stuff.
then his helper, his helper in the back office.
Yeah, that was great. Everything about it was good. I like that part, and I guess we're gonna see that Nightwing Deathstroke showdown.
Yeah.
But I gotta give credit to S.M. Morales, by the way. I didn't think he could pull off doing Slade Wilson Deathstroke, but as far as like an iteration of Deathstroke, we had the Manu Bennett in Arrowverse, and he was good for what he was. But this Deathstroke that we have
He's
now is the Deathstroke from the comics, man. That verbatim. I mean, they even have full screen, and he's like he's got his money and all that. Hey, you go on this mission, you go on that mission. That's like, wow, they threw Forrest Green in there. Like that's another. I've liked him as Deathstroke this year, and I was kind of hesitant beginning of the year with Essa, but he's kind of proven me wrong.
I was on board with him right from the get go. I thought he did an amazing job from the start. So I'm happy to see in the whole the Jericho thing is playing out pretty well with him.
Yeah, it's on and a lot of good stuff in Titan. But hopefully they just don't draw out Nightwing. Well, they can't draw Nightwing now. He
can't. He's already looking at the suit. So yeah, it's
he's already looking at the suit. So it's a matter of time. So. Next week, the finale. It'll be interesting to see how they're going to finish it up, and build up to season 3.
Yeah, and so definitely interested in that. And then of course, we're hooked on the Mandalorian right now. I mean, the internet was broken again this week with Baby Yoda. It just went nuts. I mean, all over Twitter, Facebook. That's all I could see, and then. Friday, the episode of the third chapter, The Sin, was just like another great addition.
Each episode keeps getting better and better. I think my only complaint, and I guess a lot of complaints, is it's for 30 minutes. I think it's too short. But from what I'm getting for 30 minutes, it's great. And like I don't want to spoil the episode. I guess nobody saw it, but there's something that happens in the end, which I think you said it so eloquently that. You never thought you would see something like this in a Star Wars movie, but you always wanted.
Yeah.
And that's basically when I saw that, I was like, wow, okay, I'm in. I was in the first episode, but now I'm like really, really in.
Yeah. I was sitting in my break room at work. I had to go into work in the morning, so I had like a little bit of time to kill. So I'm watching it on my phone for the first time in my break room. And when that scene comes up, and you all will know the scene when you see it, I screamed, yeah, in my break room. And everybody's like, whoa. I was like, sorry, the Mandalorian. They're like, oh, okay. Don't say anything. I was like, I'm not spoiling anything here. But yeah, that was one of the really better scenes I've seen for something in Star Wars. Again, I just didn't know I wanted it. Now I do. And I want more of it now. And we'll see where they go. I'm okay with the time because I feel, and this is funny, I'm going to say this because it kind of goes against something I said to you about a month ago. I think they're telling the story that they need to tell. They don't need to add extra stuff on there. I don't want them to add too much just to fill up an hour. Tell me your story and move on. And I know that counteracts something I had said a few weeks ago that I feel like a lot of the mini episodes that they've been doing on Netflix and Hulu and stuff like that, because I want to see more of those characters, I guess, growing. But this one, I don't think this character needs to grow. He's your lone cowboy, your lone outlaw by himself. And it just, I think what we're getting is perfect, and especially for the amount of money that I know they're spending per episode. I think it's perfectly fine for 30 minutes.
And the detail too is remarkable. I mean, Favreau and Filoni, they know. I mean, they took a deep cut from Empire Strikes Back when they brought something in. I don't want to give it away, but you'll see it. And if you understand, I'll just use the word ice cream, and people will understand what it is. what I also like is the close combat scenes with the Mandalorian. It kind of reminds me of it's like in this episode, like the fight scenes, it's very John Wick, very Batman esque because he's, like I said, I don't want to give too much away. I'll just leave it at that. But like the combat scenes, very close combat, like everything's just close right in front of him, and he's by himself all time now. Which I'm gonna try to find eBay that gigantic disintegrator. I think Boba Fett had that weapon too, but he just never used it. But going forward, because basically now at the ending of this, basically is leading to a new chapter now. And I want to see where it's going to go. He's obviously going to meet up with other characters now, and he's on the run.
Well, we do have the one female bounty hunter that supposedly was the next rebel, like gunman or something like that. We also, from my understanding, one of the other Mandalorians that we were introduced to in this comes back as well. I've heard an interview with that actor, and he comes back a few times.
Oh, that's good.
The bigger dude.
The guy with the Predator machine gun rifle. That guy.
Yes. Yeah. He comes back. Yeah, I watched. I forget where I heard it on. Yeah, there was an interview with him because he apparently this guy's like in a bunch of other roles as well. That like throughout like TV, he's just one of those character actors that's kind of always there. And they were saying that they brought him in and he didn't know what he was playing, and just kind of like running through the script a little bit, and then they showed him like, hey, this is gonna be your costume, and he's like, I'm in Star Wars. Holy crap. That's when it dawned on him what the helmet was.
Yeah, the man. Actually, by watching this Mandalorian series, makes me want to go back and watch the Clone Wars again because I want to just brush up my skills on Mandalorian culture and the Mandalorians themselves because they have that culture, which is really dope. And I think you don't get a chance to see it. I think you saw a little bit of it in Clone Wars, but like now you're getting a chance to see like, I want to know more about these guys because they're like a bunch of hard asses. I mean, they're like, it's almost, I don't like comparing things to other movies, but I'll compare it to John Wick. This is almost like the Mandalorians are living in that Continental, and these guys are all assassins, and they're being sent out. It's very similar. It's kind of strange, but it's almost like John Wick in space. So, but like I said, I'm happy with it, and Baby Yoda coming to a shelf. I believe Black Friday.
Oh yeah, so, no, he'll be coming to my shelf. He'll be sitting right over here, right next to me.
He'll be here soon. So.
Yeah, okay. And I will have to say this one for all of those of you that may be getting like a little overkill on Baby Yoda. This was a light Baby Yoda episode, just so you know. Very, very light. A little bit at the beginning, and one cute little moment at the very, very tail end of the show. But the rest is full Mando, just going nuts and doing his thing, and you do get to see a little bit, like you were saying, learning more about the Mandalorian culture. You do learn a little bit more of what's going on with them now. And I swear to God, if I see anybody posting on Facebook this week about, did you see Boba in the background? Yeah, they all look like Boba. All look like Boba,
man. Boba's not there.
He's not there.
Or he's not. I don't know, but that's not Boba Fett. Boba Fett is not I think it's one of the biggest things too that bugs me, and I think you know what I'm gonna say. People think that Boba Fett is a Mandalorian. He is not a Mandalorian. For the last time, he stole the armor. Jango Fett stole the Mandalorian armor. He was never a Mandalorian. They even said it. They even in like the comics and in canon, they say he's not. We're pissed off at him. We're like, we don't like that dude. He ain't no man. He ain't one of us.
Yeah.
So
I thought that was funny. I was having a conversation with somebody online about it, and he was like, "But," I'm like, "Nah, dude, man. They all dress the same. Of course, they're all gonna look like each other." But all right, so let's go ahead. I know we got a little bit to talk about.
I guess. Yeah, a little bit.
So we're gonna go ahead and get into our crisis. A little crisis news, because I know a few things dropped this week. So
yeah, just a couple things. We are. I think we're like T-minus 3 weeks from this crossover, and I believe they released. The first 3 episodes synopsis.
Yes.
Of Crisis, because I think first one is going to be on Supergirl, second one's on Batwoman, third one's going to be on The Flash. the first synopsis for the first episode in Supergirl, I believe, was like Harbinger is basically gathering all the heroes of the multiverse together to basically break it down. Hey, you know what? Something's coming, and you basically got to split up, and you got to find more heroes. And what they say is they basically are splitting off this team, and the synopsis it says they are looking for another Kryptonian. G Mike, who could this other Kryptonian they're searching for be?
Who knows? I mean, there's
Who knows?
so many out there.
Yeah. I wonder who's it going to be.
Maybe
Maybe General Zod?
Oh, it could be. It could be.
You know what? Actually, that would be kind of dope if they did that. Actually, no, we're not looking for Superman. We're looking for Zod. Because they basically only had like 3 versions of Zod. We haven't seen a Zod version in this. We did cameos like in season 3. Nothing to write home about. It was like there for like 2 seconds. It was like a dream sequence.
Yeah,
but that'd be interesting. Episode 2 of
I'm looking forward to it.
Is going to be the second, and this gets me crazy because this episode basically says Kara and Kate Kane are looking for Bruce Wayne. They're looking for Bruce Wayne, and then, as you're going to show in a couple seconds, I guess, because I think you had the photo up there somewhere, we get our first look at Mr. Kevin Conroy as Bruce Wayne. And G Mike, what do you think that suit is he's wearing in the background?
That looks a little. I'm not sure. I'd say they're probably armory.
Armory, kind of like maybe exoskeleton-y?
Maybe. So are we hinting that this is the Kingdom Come version? Since we do have the Kingdom Come Superman within Brandon Routh.
And I think that's great because Kingdom Come has never been touched in any kind of like, live form media. So why not? We have the Brandon Routh Superman, and now we're gonna have the Kingdom Come Batman. I'm down for it. Let's go. Let's do it. I'm tired of seeing these photos. I saw another teaser trailer. Just bring it. I think you said it last week. I don't want to see no more. I'm done. I don't want to see nothing else. Don't post no more photos. Don't post no more photos going like this. Just bring it. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, well, we're there. I mean, we've only got what'd you say? A couple more weeks. I mean, it's technically already started. I mean, it's already started. There's been hints and little things going on, but the actual full true crossover, yeah, three weeks, beginning December.
December 8th, 9th, and 10th, and then we're gonna have Kevin Smith. I think did we mention that last week where he's gonna do a post-crisis, which I think is another great idea. And then they stop there, and they'll pick up after the new year. So we're gonna be left with a gigantic cliffhanger, which I think is great. Because that cliffhanger, they basically have been open to have a cliffhanger, and I'm interested to see which DC heroes are going to fall.
Well, we already pretty much can throw money on one. I mean, I think Vegas has taken odds on them. But
I think we're just going to find out which episode he's going to go. But I think that the Kingdom Come Brandon Routh Superman is going to die.
Well, I think so. Yeah, I'm thinking he's probably going to go. I'm pretty sure if he doesn't go, I'm going to say his Adam's going. Brandon Routh's Adam's going to go because that's just his last season. So he's saying, yeah. So maybe Superman stays. Adam goes, but yeah. So we already know that's gone. We already know Brandon's gone. So I'm thinking I don't think so much Superman, but I think maybe Brandon. But again, when you look at Crisis, that Superman did go. He went into that negative area where they didn't want to die, but they also didn't want to be away from their loved ones.
What was the name of that area? They had like a specific.
That's what I just. I even read that book about 2 months ago, and I just drew a blank on it.
I gotta remember. Yeah, it was some kind of area where you're not alive, but you're not dead.
Yeah, and that's the area that Superman Prime bursted out of, broke the barrier for the next crisis that's coming.
Oh boy! more crises.
Yeah, well, they don't have a Superboy here, so who knows? Are they going to do that? To me, but to be honest, right now the only thing I'm worried about. No, I don't want to say worried. The only thing I'm interested in about this overall isn't is are they merging like next season? Are they going to be merging worlds? Like, will now Batwoman be with in the same world as Supergirl? You know, what are they? You know, what is it? Are they going to be blending these worlds together to where now Barry can run over to see Kara, or he can run over to see, Batwoman? Is that, is all the world's going to just combine into one, or what? That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah, that's the big question, because that's
I'd
the way the Crisis
I'd
comic
love
ended.
that. I'd love.
I would
to
love
have
it too, but I don't know if it may or may not happen. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe they have a better idea than I do.
Yeah,
but
well,
we're gonna find out. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's Belanti,
We
so
shall see.
I have faith in Belanti. So
Me too.
all right, so let's go ahead and jump right into the Legends of the Long Box.
Legends of the Long Box.
All right, so we're going to go ahead. I guess I'll let you go ahead and start off your first book of the week. What
Thanks,
do you got?
I appreciate that. Issue 2. This is done by Dan Dido, Shane Davis, Michelle Deliac, and Jason Wright. Basically, this book is picking off after issue 1, which we got a slight back intro into the Metalmen. Dr. Magus, of course, don't know who the Metalmen is. They're basically based on the periodic tablet of metal, gold, silver, and all that. And basically, he created these people who are robotic versions of that. We find out that at the ending of issue 1, if you ever read the Dark Knight's Metal, we were introduced with something that was called Ninth Metal. Now, Ninth Metal is supposed to be one of the strongest metals in all of the world. It basically is unbreakable, undeniable, undefeatable. So this within the Ninth Metal arises calls for Dr. He's basically chasing him. The Metal Men try to intervene. The middlemen are unsuccessful. Actually, Gold is severely injured. We don't know if he's dead or alive. And basically, this Ninth Metal has a sort of psychological connection to Dr. Mangus. He eventually even looks like him. He basically, because the Ninth Metal can form into anything, so he turns himself to a version of Dr. Mangus. And then we find out later on within the book, through some workers who basically where the Ninth Metal was found in this pit, that where the Ninth Metal Man was found, that's what they're calling him, the Ninth Metal Man, that basically the pit where he was found is basically not really a pit. And it could be something else. I won't spoil what it is. So far, I kind of like the direction this comic going. It's like I've never been a big fan of the Metal Men. I've heard of them in the past. But I like where this is going. Like, we had that quick intro, who they are. Okay, we got that. Now we're in the story. Now we're into Ninth Metal. Ninth Metal is all about Dark Knight's Metal. And anything with Dark Knight's Metal is with the Dark Multiverse is stuff that I like. And so far, solid. It's been solid. I want to see where they go with this, Ninth Metal Man now.
I keep thinking you're saying nymph. Sorry.
Nymph
Metal.
N-T-H-N. It's called Nymph Metal.
I know how to spell it. I just, every time I hear you saying it, I'm like, what's he saying? Is he saying what I think he's saying?
It's Nympho Metal. You didn't know that? Hey, yeah, Nympho Metal.
Hey, there's different metals out there. Don't worry.
We'll get there. But that's Metal Man Part 2. So what you got, Michael?
Oh, mine this week, and I didn't have a flyer for the Metal Man. You never sent me one, so I'm sorry I didn't have one.
I never sent one?
No, you sent me Bloodsport and the other ones, but not for Metal.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's why I didn't have anything up there for you. But what I read was Batman White Knight presents Von Freeze. Yes, I have talked a lot about the Batman White Knight series in Black Label. It's a fun read. It's a grittier, darker take on the Batman. But this is the first one that they really broke away from the White Knight storyline and told a side story of one of the main characters, and it's Victor Von Freeze, Mr. Freeze in their world, but in their world, him and the Waynes have actually worked together, and this is kind of the backstory of how that family and that connection got together with the with during World War II, Victor and another doctor or Victor's father and another doctor were working on cryo technology. The Nazis found out about it. Victor's father joined the Nazi party to try to help out, and the other doctor, who was a Jewish doctor, was like, "No, these people are, they're evil. I don't want to be working for them." Finally, he convinced them to join, not the Nazi party, but to join him in his library up in a mountain area. But during this time, Victor becomes friends, in his this Jewish doctor becomes a close confidant of his, and basically a father figure, which Victor's dad doesn't really care too much about, doesn't like. But as the story goes on, we find out the Nazis eventually find out about, what's going on, that there are Jews up there. So they're coming up to try to take them. And we have a few incidences, and we discover how Freeze and Nora meet at the same time. And then also how the Waynes, it's kind of like three stories in one. You have Freeze talking to Bruce now, and he's telling the story of how how he started working with his dad, Thomas, and then at the same time you see Thomas and Victor telling Thomas about the story of how Victor's dad and this other Jew. So there's like a bunch of like little stories all along the way, but it's a really cool one. Great art. I mean, you can just tell by the cover that we have up here, kind of in the same vein of the White Knight presents. So just check it out, and it's hopefully to pick up on the next one, because I think they jump back into the story next month for the White Knight series.
This is basically just a one shot.
It's one shot for the White Knight, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you don't really need it. I don't know until we see the full story.
Well, you've been more caught up on the White Knight story than I have.
I really
purchased
think
one issue in it, and I thought it was okay, but I got so many other things ahead of it.
Yeah.
So I have to compartmentalize it to learn that. But like, I have a lot of things I'm reading, and White Knight sadly just kind of fell off.
I'm kind of the same way. There's a couple of stories that I'm waiting for the series to finish, and then I'll go back and just read all at once. And I think you just wait for White Knight to finish up. Well, actually, they have one.
That's what I'm going to do.
They have one of the White Knight series already done. This is the White Knight.
That was the first one with the Joker.
Yeah. Then there's this one. This is on the second series or second volume of it. So what do you have next?
Sir, I have Batman Superman issue 4, which reintroduces my favorite.
You didn't send me that one either.
Who laughs. Batman Who Laughs, yeah, that's what it is.
Did you? Oh, okay. Is that that 4?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's Batman Superman 3. Yeah, that's the Batman Who Laughs.
Sorry, I didn't say Batman Superman on that cover. So I was like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah, of course. Basically, this is issue. I think it's a mini part 7 series. Once again, it's the year of the villain. Basically, the Batman Who Laughs has infected 5 of our Justice League members, and he is seeking to infect. And if you don't know who the 5 who have been infected so far, I shall run it down for you. Shazam has been infected, unfortunately. The Blue Beetle has been infected, unfortunately. Commissioner Jim Gordon has been infected, unfortunately. Hawkman from Earth 3 has been infected, unfortunately. Wonder Girl, Donna Troy herself, has been infected. And in this issue, we find out who the 6th member of that is. The way it leads up to it is actually not heartbreaking, but it's just like, oh, man, it just it's a bummer almost. But seeing Blue Beetle kind of like more of a darker edge is kind of cool. They're basically going after Bruce and Superman. That's just and Batman. Whatever. They're because these are the only 2 guys that have managed to withstand that metal. That the Batman Who Laughs has affected them with. And the goal of the Batman Who Laughs, actually, he has a goal. He has built this gigantic bat signal from Ninth Metal, and what he wants to do is bring the dark multiverse into the positive multiverse. And he's going to use these 6 evil members of his Unjustice League to do it. Good read so far. It's been fun. Like I said, the storyline, to me, I think the Batman Who Laughs finally has a coherent storyline now. He actually has motivation instead of just being wild and crazy like he has been. I mean, this is the amalgamation of the Joker and Batman. This is going to be the deadliest villain you're ever going to face. He has that psychotic, but he's intelligent at the same time. He's recruiting Justice League members. He's infected them left. He infected Shazam. which I kind of like. I think I mentioned King Shazam a couple weeks prior in one of our long box episodes.
Yeah,
Which is
last
actually
week actually.
another good fun read. So yeah, we're going forward with this storyline in the Year of the Villain, and we're going to see what's going to happen because the build-up obviously is going to happen. It's going to be the Justice League versus this is Unjustice League, and probably another showdown between Batman and the Batman Who Laughs coming soon. But a good
Awesome.
read, good read.
Yeah,
I forgot to mention.
go ahead.
Yeah, this was done by. Sorry. Oh, I don't think I got a chance to write down who wrote this yet. Let me make sure. Because I want to make sure everybody's got it.
As you're looking that up, yeah,
Oh,
this
wait,
is one of those. This is one of those ones that I always say, no, I'm going to wait. I'm waiting for the end of the Year of the Villain. I'm gonna cover all of them. Sit down and just read them all, just because it kind of got away from me.
But yeah, I don't have writers in front of me. Unfortunately, I forgot to write that down. But it's a good read, so check it out. Actually, I skipped issue 3, which I didn't even realize, but I pre-ordered it. I ordered it from the background section in Acme.
Very cool.
It should be in this week. So,
All right.
like
Well,
I said,
my next one.
you probably just want to wait for it. Like I'm going to wait for the. All right, Michael.
All right. Well, my next one is Question. The Question. They're starting a series, which I'm happy to see because pretty much Black Label has been freaking Batman galore. So other than the rebirth of the Vertigo series and Black Label, so they've now brought in Black Label The Question, and this is I want to say this is a 4-book series if I'm not mistaken. And it's just covering more of the question. And again, I think if there's a character out there in DC that deserves a book inside of this Black Label series, he is one. He is I think he's one of probably the most underrated dark characters in here. He's all about the conspiracy that things aren't what they seem. And this captures this. This book just captures the noir, and it sticks true to the book. They don't take any like crazy chances or go like overboard on anything. They stick really close to it. The story basically follows Vic Sage, who's going around. He's a reporter right now, and he's trying to drum up some news about one of the local drug lords. And as he's doing more and more research, he comes to find out that his mask that he wears, he wasn't the first one to wear this mask. There's been another question, but when you look at the mask that this other question was wearing, it's extremely old. And that's kind of where we're left off for the next book. And the cover for the next book shows pretty much this book right here, this cover you see. But he's not wearing like this 30s kind of garb or 40s kind of garb. It's Old West style. So hinting that maybe this older question's a lot older than what it is. So I'm looking forward to it. So for good book, good read, art's just like you see on the cover. The art's is captured here as well. It's not one of those ones where they do a crazy splash page on the cover to give you something else. So this is what the art looks like inside.
I like the artwork a lot. Actually, that's one of those things you could just frame it and put it up. It looks really, really good.
But and again, like I said, it really sticks to the core of what the question is, but just adds a different twist to it, which I'm completely fine with, and I'm enjoying. Again, DC has yet to do wrong on Black Label. I need to start getting residual checks from them because as much as I talk,
I think
about
you do because you mention them almost every sentence.
I do. It's and I try to. There's been a few times I'm like, man, I'm not going to talk about Black Label, but that week a book comes out, I'm like, holy crap, this one's really good. And I thought that there was a couple of weeks that I did, or 1 or 2 weeks I didn't because they dropped a I think it was the Harleen or Harley Quinn. They've got like 3 books on Black Label alone, Harley and Joker. And I'm just, again, like we've had that talk before. I'm done. Just stop making them. I know they're your big money makers right now, but it's just overkill for me.
I agree. So I'll definitely.
And I'm just getting confused on which one. I forget when I pick up the book. I was like, which one am I reading? Which version of this?
Yeah, it gets a little convoluted sometimes. That's why I've kind of stopped. Kind of reading. I think the last Joker one I read was the Long Night or something. It was him Batman. Like remember where he had that lantern head of Joker? That's
we're still that. We should be getting the next one. This week, actually.
I hope that. How long has it been? Like a couple months?
It's been a month. No, it's been about a month for those. But
You
yeah,
sure? Because
well, actually,
I only have. I
no,
only
you're
have.
right.
No,
Yeah, I
it's
only
been
have
long. It's
two.
been longer.
Yeah, now I'm
I was
thinking.
because if you have three, I was gonna
No,
go to your
I've
house and
only got
attack
two.
you to take it.
No,
Like,
I've
wait a
only got
minute.
two. I've only got the two. Maybe this one's turning into the doomsday clock for Batman now. We don't know when
Oh
it's coming
God,
out.
which actually is supposed, I think,
Yeah,
or
that's
who
yeah,
knows? The
yeah.
story's
That
been
should
terrible.
hopefully
I
keep
haven't
going.
like the story's been terrible anyway.
Yeah.
I guess
So
I'm next.
what's your next one?
Bloodshot issue number 3. This one done by Tim Seeley, Brett Booth, and Delis House or Dalhouse, and David Sharp. Bloodshot 3 basically is a continuation of our super assassin known as Bloodshot. He is fighting against the organization called the Black Bar Squad, and he comes into contact with somebody named Eidolon, another enhanced like Bloodshot. Basically, they have a past that I won't touch upon, but I'll just say they have a past. While inside this plane, because Bloodshot at the end of issue 2 was captured by the Black Bar Squad, in the plane, he's basically telling the general like he should have a heart and all that stuff, like, you know, because basically what Eidolon was created for was to hunt down the enhanced soldiers like Bloodshot. But during this time, when Bloodshot and Eidolon are talking on the plane is attacked by Agent Nix. Agent Nix, we find out, is one of these enhanced also from another different organization. He takes Bloodshot back into his lair to recruit him to fight the. And basically, what the Agent Nix represents is he wants to create this rogue organization to fight all of the enhanced in the government, because basically what he represents is advanced also that were discarded by the government. So basically, he wants Bloodshot to fight the government that basically created him. So far, it's been okay. Not the greatest Bloodshot stories I've read so far. I think I've read better in the past, but you know, it's a good reintroduction to Bloodshot because we're getting that movie with Vin Diesel next year. So, you know, if you haven't heard who Bloodshot is, this is a good, like, reintroduction to Bloodshot. So I definitely think it's definitely a worth read. I like comics like this. The art's pretty solid. And overall, Bloodshot is a character that's been waiting to get out of the variant universe into the big screen, and we're gonna get that soon enough. So that's Bloodshot issue number 3.
Perfect. Yeah, it's one I'm kind of interested in picking up and checking out to see what that is. You got one more?
Mm-hmm.
What do you got next?
Well, I think you're gonna help me out with this one.
Yes,
He-Man
we
and the
are.
Masters of the Multiverse, issue 1. Now, when I saw this in Acme Comics, I was almost like, "What is this? This looks stupid." Because I had to walk past it a couple of times, and I'm like, "What? They're making a He-Man be stupid," and I kept walking by it. And then I thought about buying a Deathstroke action figure. Then I put that back. Then I went back. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I usually just pick up my normal haul of 3. Let me get a 4th one. And let me tell you, excuse me, this is done by Tim Seeley, Dan Fraga, Richard Friend, not Fiend, and Matt Yackey. The beginning of the comic, to me, I was hooked. I was hooked right from the beginning. You basically find out that Castle Grayskull is being attacked by Skeletor would be, like in any other comic book or any other TV series and all that. Skeletor basically is going to stop, He-Man once and for all. Prince Adam is locked in Castle Grayskull with everybody. He turns into He-Man. He runs out of Castle Grayskull. He's going to confront Skeletor. And before he can confront Skeletor, stabbed with his that goat staff that he has. He's bleeding. And who kills him? And he looks up, and who does he see? The anti-He-Man. Basically, what this story is about is it's the multiverse of the Masters of the Universe. This He-Man, or anti-He-Man as they call him, basically has been going from multiverse to multiverse, taking the powers of Castle Grayskull, killing the He-Man, absorbing the power of all the power swords, and basically he got his power from not Castle Grayskull, but a place called Castle Hellskull. Basically, he is the only evil He-Man in all of the multiverses. Now, if you're going to have an evil He-Man, you're going to have the opposite of him to stop him, right? So that's what happens. They go to this other multiverse planet, and you meet somebody called Prince Kandor, basically hanging out with his friend, Beastman, and Evil Lyn, who is just called Lyn on this planet. And they're the good guys in this planet.
Don't forget his pet.
Oh, yeah. I haven't forgot his pet. I have not forgot that purple cat.
Yeah.
So basically, in this world, King Randor is trying to stop the anti He-Man has left. They think he's dead or whatever. He absorbed Castle Hellskull's power. And then you find out a little bit later on when basically Evelyn and Prince Kandor are trying to hook up. If you don't know who Prince Kandor is, by the way, he's the guy who eventually becomes Skeletor. If you
what is it? What's the
I
there's
think
an
one of the-
episode. I think it was like the one that came out like 10 years ago showed like the origin of Skeletor, and that's I think that's where they're pulling this from.
Yeah, they are, because in the original OG series, he was Skeletor. He was never Prince Kandor, but I guess they wanted to update it and all that, which is cool because this works out even better. And then we get into Kandor's room, and he's sitting there chilling. And who does he see pop out of nowhere? I'm not going to get to that one yet.
Oh, don't leave that one.
He basically sees a toy version of He-Man. Okay, now remember, this is the multiverse of the Masters of the Universe, so you're going to see a lot of stuff. So this is a different type of He-Man. He's a toy version of He-Man.
Lot of throwbacks to everything.
A lot of throwbacks.
In this book.
Everything. And the biggest throwback is going to come because basically this He-Man's explaining, hey, this anti-He-Man is going around multiverses. He's killing people. He's probably going to be the most powerful being in the world. We got to stop him. Prince Kandor's like, I ain't going to stop nobody. What do I have to stop anybody for? And then all of a sudden another window opens up. And who do we see pop out, Mike? The Dolph Lundgren He-Man with the cosmic key. When I saw that, the comic book basically fell. I couldn't believe it. And then after that, basically you have the Force Ghost version of Gwildor there too, explaining to Prince Kandor, hey, you have to come with these He-Man. You basically have to go to these. You got to stop him. The joy in my face reading this comic.
Oh yeah, I was the same way when I was looking through my downloads, because you made it to the bookstore. I didn't. I was going through my downloads, or not my downloads, but I was looking at what to get and download, and I came across this one, and I'm like, no. Kept looking, came back to it. I don't know. I did the same exact thing you did. You're looking at it like, I don't. But then when I saw it was a number one, I'm like, let me give it a shot just because it's a number one. If this was a number two, probably wouldn't have touched it. But
I probably wouldn't have touched it either.
It's one of those things, because you and I don't talk exactly about what we pick up. We do. It's a lot of times it's a surprise before we start go live. And this was one of those ones you're like, yeah, and I did this one too, and I'm like, yeah, me too. All right, well, we can definitely talk about this. But
and then I was waiting for you. Oh man, it's this. Every single throwback you can think of, like I'm a big OG He-Man fan as you are. You know, it takes us back to the OG series. It takes you back to the newer series, which was released in 2002, which was really good, by the way, and it just adds a new spin to it. And when I saw the Dolph Lundgren He-Man pop out of nowhere, I'm like, okay, whoever's writing this book has got its pulse on He-Man, because now you're going to travel the multiverse to stop the evil version of He-Man, which I think should be Faker He-Man if you want to go OG style. You know, he was purple He-Man. They sold him back in the day. He was basically purple, but he was basically just painted purple and had like Skeletor's like armor inside him. That's basically what it was. But the version of the anti He-Man, I'm like, ooh, Castle Hellskull.
Yeah, this reminded me very much of The One. If you remember the Jet Li movie, The One, where he was jumping around, and this isn't the first time I've heard this kind of storyline. So guys, don't expect you're jumping into like, ooh, wow, groundbreaking, storytelling. It's a story you're familiar with, but guess what? Some of the best stories and some of the best movies out there are stories we're familiar with. It's just their take on it, and they're doing the bright take on this. I mean, they're taking He-Man, they're walking you down memory lane, not just for people in our age, but people younger than us and people even younger than us. And there's a little anime hint, a little flavor to it. So it's like, it's for anybody that's ever been like, I kind of liked He-Man at one point in my life. That's what this is.
Yeah, it's basically like all the stuff that you loved when you were a kid. They're bringing it back, and they're adding a new story to it, and they're adding the biggest twist of all. You're fighting He-Man, and basically you have to recruit Skeletor to fight him. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a very cool twist. And I think any kind of time a comic book does that, it adds this new flavor to it. It adds a different story, a different layer. And now I'm completely hooked. Like, I cannot wait till this book comes out for issue 2. I don't know how long the series is. I have to read, but this is to me what I've always wanted in a comic. Like, I want that joy of picking up a comic and you're not sure about it.
Yep.
And exactly. You're like, should I get it? And this is the first time in a long time, because usually when I read a comic, I'll read beforehand. Like, okay, this is pretty good. I'll pick it up. This one I went in blind. I had no idea what this was. Never even heard it was coming out. when I saw it, like you did as well, it was almost that double take. I don't know. I'm not sure. Then I had to put something back to get it, and it was literally the fourth comic I picked up at Acme. It was the fourth one.
Yeah, and I think what really another reason why I really picked up was it was DC. It wasn't an IW.
Yeah, it's
IDW,
DC, yeah.
or it wasn't any of the old, the weird, independent ones that you would normally find a GI Joe or Transformers on or something from our childhood.
Yeah, the
This was
Transformers,
straight up DC, and I'm like, DC's doing this, okay, and I think it's kind of cool, especially with them doing the whole dark multiverse right now. This is a great take on it.
Yeah, it's.
I wonder if it'll link up with that.
I hope so. I think
cool.
they had didn't they have a crossover with Masters of the Universe in DC? I think they had it.
Oh God, probably long time ago.
I have to look it up. But anyway, I hope it does hook up, and I hope they do it. I mean, I'm loving it. And look, even if you never liked He-Man before, you should pick this one up. Out of all the polls to me and the long boxes this week, they're all great picks. But to me, this is my favorite. Yeah. This is a fun one. So definitely go to your local comic book shop. If you live here in 434, check out Josh and the guys and Larry. They're fantastic. So definitely pick this one up.
Yeah, definitely. I just can't wait to see the moment when they have the Dark He-Man meet up with the Batman Who Laughs for the final big battle.
Oh my God. Don't even tease me like that.
Come on, it's got to happen.
I hope so. I wonder if Prince Kandor is gonna. Well, since he's Prince Kandor, and he eventually becomes Skeletor. I mean, does he get like a power sword, and does he go by the power of Snake Mountain and become like Skeletor?
I mean, he's probably got to. They probably got to find.
He's got to, because he can't fight him as Prince Kandor. He's got to fight him like as Skeletor, right?
Yeah.
Or is he going to become Skeleman or something? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of stuff they can do. I'm into it. So.
Yeah, definitely me too. I am definitely looking forward to seeing what they're going to do. I mean, if they continue, are they going to jump into showing us She-Ra or something?
I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
For them to link it all up together. So, but folks, that is it for the sorry about that. Legends of the Long Box. Right this week, they got the Thanksgiving coming up, guys. So we are, we'll still be around. We will probably try to pop in online here and there. This will be released in our podcast form this week, tomorrow. And you guys can, again, like I said, we're going to be here every week. Hopefully, I'm working out some bugs, trying to figure out some things. I definitely want to start doing some more of this live throughout the week. It may be me. It may just be Kane. But we both work separate schedules throughout the week. So may have moments where, if something really cool breaks, since Kane may be off during the day, he may pop on, do a quick check-in, or you may see me throughout the week. I almost did it this week after that whole blow up about the Charlie's Angels thing. I was like, no, I'm going to say that. So, but yeah, this is, like I said, this is something new coming to you guys. So hopefully you guys will enjoy it. Make sure you guys do check us out. You can see us at heroesasylum.com. Also our lovely Facebook page and Twitter page.
Twitter and Instagram at the Heroes Asylum, at the Heroes Asylum. And as always, from everybody here at the Asylum and from Captain Mike, I always say, get to the asylum, kids.
Peace, guys. See you next week.